What's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler, and it's now day 4 of my 32 straight days of 32 NFL previews leading up to the 2020 NFL season. If you haven't watched the first 3, the Arizona Cardinals, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Baltimore Ravens, those links will be down below in a full playlist form because, let's be real, you're going to want to watch them all. I mean, come on. But today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Buffalo Bills. Last season, they took a big step forward. They went 10-6, made the playoffs. Despite blowing that lead to the Houston Texans in the wild card round, they performed really well last season, much better than what people thought. And probably the main reason for this is because of the development of Josh Allen, their franchise quarterback, in his second season. The guy, we already knew he could throw the ball a mile. The guy, from one end to the other, can change the dynamics of a game with one throw. But he also developed as a runner. The guy, he can make plays happen with his legs. I believe he had over 600 rushing yards, if I'm not mistaken. And he's developed into a sneaky good dual threat quarterback. I think the one thing for Allen now, he has the ability to run and to throw whenever he wants. But he's got to have better game management. We saw that in the wild card round where he just tried to make a giant play happen with his arm and it just failed. Or he fumbled that football late in the game, which gave the Texans a clear shot at winning. I think the addition of Stefon Diggs will be a huge help for him to be paired on the outside with John Brown and then Cole Beasley in the slot, just as another passing option for Allen. And now you can get a nice little levels. Diggs as your deep threat, Brown as your medium threat with speed, and Cole Beasley in the slot. It gives Allen multiple different options and multiple different looks to throw the football. Hopefully Diggs' ego, like we saw towards the end of his time in Minnesota, doesn't hinder him and the Bills. Also, the departure of Tom Brady from the Patriots, the Bills, I think, appear to be the clear front runner for the AFC East crown. The signing of Cam Newton will, I think, definitely puts the Patriots back into the conversation, but with this crazy offseason and everything going on, Cam Newton, his injury history, and also just not being the greatest of all time at the quarterback position that like Tom Brady is, I don't think the Patriots will be too much of an issue. I think the Bills can take care of business because also I like their schedule a little bit more. Lastly, the defense. Tre'Davious White, Jerry Hughes, Lorenzo Alexander, Tremaine Edmonds, and others performed phenomenally last season, just stumping opposing offenses and just taking their games to the next level. And I think head coach Sean McDermott, he's a defensive guy at heart, and I think he will continue to develop that defense. Devin Singletary, I know I said finally with the defense, but I realized Devin Singletary at running back as well, going into his second season, didn't really perform up to the levels that people thought he would in his rookie year. I think with the addition of Zach Moss in the draft and just having one more year of experience in the NFL, I think Singletary will, I won't say break out into a top 10 running back, but I do think he could definitely raise his level of play to being a solid, middle-of-the-road lead back on an NFL team. Looking at the full Bills' schedule, I'll leave it down below in the description with the win-losses, but they first go to the Jets week 1. They then will play at Miami, then play at home versus the Rams, then go to Las Vegas in week 4, at Tennessee week 5, week 6, they play Kansas City. Those 2 games right there, on the road at Tennessee and then at home against Kansas City, those will be 2 telltale signs to see whether or not this team is legit, because the Titans and the Chiefs project to be playoff teams. So the Chiefs have Super Bowl hopes to repeat once again. So if Allen can perform as well as that defense against those opposing offenses with the Titans in their running game and the Chiefs in their passing game, we'll really be able to see, are the Bills legitimate AFC title hopefuls, or are they just make the playoffs, get bounced in the first or second round? They play the Jets in week 7, Patriots week 8, Seattle week 9, Arizona week 10. That's another really tough stretch, because Seattle obviously projects to be one of the top teams in the NFL. Arizona looks to be much improved. And then you got the Patriots who, although worse on paper this year, they're still the Patriots. Bill Belichick can find a way. And their bye week, week 11, which I think is good for them. They'll get the majority of their games out of the way in the first half of their schedule. They get a nice needed bye week, and then they'll be well rested for a second half push to maybe make the playoffs or earn a first round bye. Week 12, they play at home against the Chargers. Then they go to San Francisco. Another really tough game. Week 13, late in the year, to see where they stack up. Week 14 versus Pittsburgh. Week 15 at Denver. Week 16 at New England. And Week 17 at Miami. Pittsburgh, Denver, New England. New England, I already said, they're going to be contending for that AFC East title. Pittsburgh and Denver, if for some reason the Bills don't win the AFC East, they will be fighting with these two teams for wild card spots, along with teams like Cleveland and Houston, another one of those teams. Just teams that maybe not are the best in their division, but can definitely make some noise in the playoffs. So those two games right there will be huge for Buffalo in winning their division. If they can win those games right there, they'll give a leg up on their opponents in the wild card standings, as well as the Patriots, I think, in the division standings. Overall, I have the Bills going 11-5, So 1 win improvement from last year. I have them beating Denver, losing to Kansas City, obviously. They'll split their matchups with Miami and New England, but I do think they'll sweep the Jets. Miami looks to be much improved this year. We'll get to them in a few weeks, because 7 days a week, 32. Yeah, it's early morning when I'm recording this. What can I say? But I do think they could take care of business. I actually also have them beating Seattle. That game being at home for Buffalo, I think, is key, because if they were to have to go cross-country to Seattle, that's a tough place to play. They lose to San Francisco. They'll beat Arizona. Overall, I do think there is an opportunity there. They also have them beating Tennessee. That's a game, though, where I'm like, I really don't know, because the Titans do have that running game, but who knows? If I were planning to go to Bills games this season, here are the 5 I'm going to want to see. Week 5 against the Titans. Derrick Henry in that rushing attack will really test the Buffalo Bills, as he led the NFL in rushing yards last season. Week 6 against Kansas City, like I mentioned, the defending Super Bowl champs. They got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, on and on and on. That pass secondary and that pass rush will be greatly tested by the best quarterback in football right now. Then I have Week 9 against Seattle. Like I mentioned, I have the Bills winning that game, but you could definitely see the Seattle Seahawks winning that one. The Bills, if they want to prove they're legit, they got to beat the best of the AFC and the NFC. Seattle projects to be one of the best in the NFC. Week 13 against the 49ers, same reason. And then Week 15 against Denver. That game, late in the year, who knows where the seeding is going to stack up at that point. The Bills might be well in control of their division, or they could be fighting with New England for the division crown. And if they're fighting with New England, that means there's a possibility where they fall into the wild card spot. So a win against Denver in December, a lot of D's there, could definitely help their chances of at least making the playoffs as a wild card. If they lose that game and don't win their division, I find the odds a lot harder for them to making the playoffs. As of right now, I have them slated as the 4 seed in the AFC, so they'll make the playoffs. Overall, actually no, I have them as the 3 seed. 4 seed, because I do have them losing to Tennessee. My mistake, I misspoke. So they'll win their division, in my opinion, but there's still a lot up in the air. The thing with the Bills is that I think they need more experience. Last season was a great year, but they blew it in the playoffs. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders this year. I don't even think they'll be Super Bowl contenders next year. But look for 2022, 2023 as a year for the Bills where Josh Allen continues to develop. Maybe they get some more big names to help out on either the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball. And the Bills just take off from there. And as the Patriots, that dynasty loses power, the Jets, who knows what's going on over there. Their only competition in the AFC East will be Miami, I think, in a couple of years. That's just me. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do the Bills win the division this year like everyone thinks they will, including myself? Or do the Patriots still have a firm grasp on the AFC East. Thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned. Next episode, we're going to be looking at the Carolina Panthers. Ooh, that's going to be a good one, in my opinion, at least. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.